Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachahakodash. Double honors to the apostles, the elders at Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations as always to the elect. Another episode going into news and prophecy, linking the things that are happening worldwide to the Holy Scriptures, all right, via biblical prophecy so that we can show, all right, the faithful remnant, the believers, that the words of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai are faithful and true, that they may be comforted, all right, in these dark times, all right, as the straight gate is getting ready to get more straight, as we see the heathen raging, pushing some very vain and wicked things. We know on the left hand, the priesthood is at work, calling on these different gods, trying to open portals to establish their NWO, all right, or New World Order. And since that ordeal with CERN, which we did a video on that the other day, there's a lot that's been happening in the planet Earth. All right, because remember, we're dealing on the left-hand side with spiritual wickedness, all right, in high places. And remember, as Cain's sacrifice wasn't accepted by the Most High God, Yahweh, Esau's won't be, and that's all this is. Okay, this is his offering. This is he's trying to establish, a pseudo birthright. Okay, and everything that we see happening, all of these meetings they're having, World Economic Forum, and everything we see, CERN. Okay, it's all a part of it. All right, as they have but a short time to establish it. Now, of recent, a day after the whole CERN ordeal, this situation took place with the Georgia Guidestones. I'm pretty sure you brothers and sisters have saw it or heard about it. And when you deal with the Georgia Guidestones, it's ultimately a left-handed version of the Ten Commandments, just as the Most High God, Yahweh, through his angel, all right, gave Moses the law, statutes, and commandments etched. It was etched in on blue stone. These devils have their version. Okay, now this particular event took place, all right, on the 6th. Okay. Now, apparently, supposedly they're saying someone came and put the explosion there. Okay, some are saying it's lightning. All right, some are asking if you got the explosion on film, well, why don't you have the guy putting the explosion there on film? Either way, it's all the working of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, no matter if a man did it or no matter if it was actually lightning. Now, the timing is impeccable. All right, it just shows you that ultimately the things are getting ready to take place on the planet Earth. Okay, and their NWO is getting ready to be destroyed. All right, even if it was them doing this as some form of a ritual to get things going. Okay, ultimately, it's still a sign that they're going to lose. So we'll take it either way it comes. Okay, you had this monument of failure struck. All right. However, it took place again. It happened. I guess that was the dude pulling up to put the explosion there. Either way it goes, okay, it exploded. They could just be making that up, and it was really, struck by lightning. Who knows? I'm not here to get into the ultimately, this wicked monument was destroyed, and a lot of these heathen nations have, some part in this whole monument. There's even Hebrew writing on it. All right, now it's not in the paleo, but there's Hebrew writing. I had a picture the other day that kind of went into the different nations that have part in this, but ultimately we know this is the heathen raging. That's what it all amounts to. Why do the heathen rage? All right, the secret counsel of the wicked. Now, when you deal with the 10 commandments, just as on the right-hand side, we have 10 commandments. Well, on the left-hand side, this is their 10 commandments. And when you read what it said, all right, on one portion of it, it says the message is considered as the new 10 commandments for an age governed by reason. They read as follows. So why are new 10 commandments needed? Because they want a new world, okay, order. It's as simple as that. It's no longer a conspiracy theory. It's they are conspiring to do it. Maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. And as we hear the talks at the World Economic Forum, there's too many people. Okay, a lot of people are dropping dead. All right, we continuously hear about this carbon CO2 emission issue. There's too many people. Nature is now the enemy. Cattle. Okay, the human beings. The traveling in cars, which they created the cars. Truth be told, they've had the technology to allow cars to run on water for hella long. All right, but they don't promote that. All right, well, now they're pushing for everybody to get electric cars because they want everything on a grid. Where everywhere you go, everywhere you travel, everything you do, they want it to be on a grid. You see? But that's a whole nother lesson for a whole nother time. Okay, so maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. See, and that's why you see the draconian measures being passed. All right, you see people just dropping left and right. Okay, and we see the infrastructure being put in place for them to go all balls out and to have dominion and to have the right to take out those who oppose. That's coming. All right, and this has to happen in order for us to get the kingdom. So there's no way around it. Okay, but the elect, as the scriptures say, are going to be covered. All right. It says, guide reproduction wisely, improving fitness and diversity. See that? They're guiding reproduction wisely. They're even putting particulars in place where ultimately the woman can now grow a baby in an artificial womb. You see? And you see the abortion thing being brought up. There's a lot of emphasis being put on reproduction. All right, so we see all of these things taking precedence in the earth right now. Unite humanity with a living new language. All right, new speak. All right, but this can take you back to what? The Tower of Babel, where all the people of ultimately were coming under one banner. Okay, now language can be the actual language, as the tongue, but then the fashion of the people, like you have body language, the way people are. And it's all going to be geared towards anti-Messiah. So people like us, okay, they plan on offing us and getting us out of the way, even our children, because they've heard too much. They want it to where years down the line, okay, the thought of a God, the thought of reading, the thought of having your own spirit or soul or connection to the spiritual realm will be no more. Okay, but this is all reminiscent of the ancient Tower of Babel under Nimrod. At the time, they had their version of of a NWO. Okay, it says rule, passion, faith, tradition, and all things with tempered reason. Okay, a whole new mindset. Okay, pretty much you won't be able to have faith in a God. Okay, you will be locked into the grid with that charagma. Everything will be changed. It says protect people and nations with fair laws and just courts, and we know fair and just on the left-hand side is wickedness. Okay, let all nations rule internally resolving external disputes within a world court, a one world government, avoid petty laws and useless officials. All right. Balance personal rights with social duties. Okay. So you'll have a social credit score. Okay. And your rights and what you have access to will be based on your obedience. We see that happening in China. Prize truth, beauty, love, seeking harmony with the infinite. And we know on the left-hand side, that means no well for the people. It says, be not a cancer of the earth, leave room for nature, which they're trying to destroy nature. Okay. So here we go. Yep. You have Russian, Spanish, Babylonian cuneiform, Egyptian hieroglyphs. This is just ultimately nothing more than an idol and a left-handed altar. Okay, we can read up more on that, but it's really no point. Let's get the book of Micah, the first chapter and the 7th verse. It says, and all the graven images thereof shall be beaten to pieces, and all the hires thereof shall be burned with fire, and all the idols thereof will I lay desolate. All right. And this is ultimately what's getting ready to happen. For she gathered it of the hire of an harlot, and they shall return to the hire of an harlot. Ultimately, this is all based upon spiritual fornication. And this is what was going on with the northern kingdom in their images. But we can apply this to what's getting ready to happen to Babylon the Great and this whole beast system. It's all based upon idols. Now, let's get the book of Isaiah, the 19th chapter. Because this is nothing but that left-hand priesthood raging, and the fact that there was something involving it the direct day after, CERN and its garbage should let us know that the spirit is moving. That's all we need. We don't need to know, well, who did it or how did it. Ultimately, the Lord wanted it to happen. All right. Some things you got to just leave to the Lord, man. Okay. Isaiah 19:1, the burden of Egypt. Okay, and this is that spiritual Egypt. All right, as even here we were just looking. All right, they have Egyptian hieroglyphs on this monument. Arabic, Hebrew, Hindi, Swahili, classical Greek. Okay, ultimately the mother of all harlots, Russian, Chinese. Okay, and we see these particular laws being put in place. All right, because ultimately how the left hand operates is they tell you what they're going to do before it's done so that they can say, hey, we told them. You submitted to what we told you. Okay, and the mass majority of the people have no idea that they're in a psyop, a living psyop ritual. All right, and it's getting ready to get more and more tacky. Okay, because a lot of people are waking up. Okay, so the burden of Egypt, behold, Yahweh rideth upon a swift cloud. Okay, the chariot through Yahweh Shai, the angels, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. And that's what's getting ready to happen. Okay, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and everyone shall fight against his brother, civil war, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. And we see that taking precedent in Babylon like daily. All right. This whole Biden administration. As a matter of fact, let me get this video here. See if I can find it. All right. Let me play this, just a little bit of it. Okay, and this is off of the beloved brother Karatazah, GMS Vegas. GMS Vegas sit-downs, 144K. A nation divided. New polls show a great number of Babylonians want a civil war with government. Okay, this is now a mindset in the earth where the people are like, we're ready to fight against these damn devils. Okay? Look at this. Look at this article. A quarter of Americans open to taking up arms against government, polls say, which goes to the prophecy Okay, and this is a plague as well. Civil war is a plague. Okay, this is let's see here. Second Esdras 15 and 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands, and there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, and they shall not regard kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. And that's what this video, all right, is promoting as he plays here. A kingdom divided by civil war will collapse. And that's what's getting ready to happen to Babylon the Great, amongst many other things. But let's listen to a little bit of this.
The 4th of July is supposed to be an all-American and all-Americans celebration. But some new polling we'll share with you right now offers some fascinating and yes, some troubling insights on our nation's deeply polarized political divide. Get this, a majority of Americans see their government as corrupt and rigged against them. Nearly half of Americans say they feel more and more like a stranger in their own country. And look at this, nearly 3 in 10 Americans overall agree it may be necessary at some point soon for citizens to take up arms against the government. 45% of those who describe themselves as strong Republicans feel that way.
You see, and if you remember the Civil War back in the day here in America, where the South pretty much was like, we succeeding, all right, they took up arms against the government. They fired off a bomb, I believe, or something. And then eventually there was a civil war because they were like, we have the right to have slaves. Who the hell are you? It's in our Constitution that we can have slaves. Okay, so you're seeing that that divide, although it's a different topic. It's not surrounding, the ownership of slaves, but, they're trying to come after their guns. Okay, they're sending aid to Ukraine, ultimately doing the bidding of the elite in preparation for NWO. All right, the everyday average American has figured out that the elite don't give two shits about them. Pretty much Amalek ran off with the blessing and left the lower level Edomite to dry. So a lot of these lower level Edomites are pissed off. Then you have this divide with Democrat versus Republican. Okay, but really it's about rich and poor. Middle class is getting taken out. Okay, but as you can see, people are of a strong opinion, all right, that this government is corrupt. All right, they're looking at, particular things that are happening. Let's see here. Like this. 1 second, let me let it pop up. Yep, the U.S. will face, this is Biden, the U.S. will face high gas prices as long as it takes. But at the same time, they're sending billions over to Ukraine. It's like every week we look up, we see Biden is sending aid over to Ukraine. Biden says U.S. will send $800 million in more security aid to Ukraine. Okay, which ultimately NATO is going to get involved in a war with Russia. All right, eventually. Okay, and that's going to lead to the obliteration, all right, of this place. And that's what we want. So let them continue sending war aid over there. Let them continue poking the bear Russia, which we'll get into something dealing with them as well. But everything that's happening in the planet Earth is leading to a divide. People are pissed off. People are fed up. Let me get these out of the way. Give me 1 second here. Okay, and as the video we're watching, this place is divided on a high level. Let's see what we got here. All right, let's go back here. Salakia.
35% of independents do. And 21% of strong Democrats say, yes, it may be necessary soon to take up arms against their government. This poll was conducted for the University of Chicago Institute of Politics. Two of the best in the business, you see them right there, Republican Neil Newhouse and Democrat Joel Benenson, collaborated on this project. They are with us live now. Neil, I want to start with you because the most alarming number in that it may be necessary to take up arms, the entire number is alarming. 28% of Americans overall, but 45% of people who identify as strong Republicans. Nearly half of people.
And under the Constitution, you remember, if the government became corrupt, you would have the right to take up arms. Now they're trying to take your arms. All right. And we can't wait for all of these things to happen, because ultimately this is not the fight we're going to fight, but it's going to happen. As we just read it in prophecy, they're not going to regard their kings nor princes. The modern day king, all right, here in America is who? Joe Biden and his administration, which are all freaked out, weird, you got people who were at one point, prosecuted for child porn images in positions of high places, man. Women that don't know, women that are being boasted for being the first black woman to be this or that, but they can't define woman. So what you see before you is a bunch of buffoonery and throughage, that perverse spirit that is spoken of in Isaiah, the 19th chapter, which is a punishment. That's that shameful spewing that's going to come up on this place. Okay, Isaiah 19:14, the Lord have mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit. And whether it's being done purposely through the elite or not, ultimately it's the Lord that's putting the spirit on these Edomites to look the way they look, and for Babylon to go out in the way it's going to go out. Okay, because at the end of the day, how was this place established? As we just got out of July the 4th, America's independence, right? America's independence. Let's get Habakkuk 2:12. Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood and establisheth a city by iniquity. How was America established? All right. And if you understand that, that should give you an insight as to why all of these things are happening to America. What sorrow awaits, NLT, what sorrow awaits you who build cities with money gained through murder and corruption? Okay. And that's you Edomites. Now you want to sit, all right, on the news as if you're at the seat of morality. The reason this place is being divided, the reason all of this wickedness is happening, is because ultimately it's solely built upon how this place was even established. There's another video. Polls indicate, this is off Rethinking the Dollar, that America has abandoned Joe Biden.
When it comes to how people feel about his job, Joe Biden seems to have lost more points than the Dow Jones. Every time a new poll is done, the president gets a lower score. Even though the next presidential election isn't until 2024, even Democrats aren't sure if their president is up to the job. Polls might show that America has given up on Joe Biden at this point. Most Americans don't want Mr. Biden to run for a second term, according to a recent poll.
Now they want Trump back because y'all were all in y'all feelings behind some tweets. All right. And behind, a guy who was supposed like a man's man. That's what he supposedly represented, saying outrageous things when America is based upon outrageous things. All you people do is get on the internet and talk shit to one another. But when it came to this guy, Trump, you all wanted to act like you were the most upstanding, God-fearing, loving individuals. This whole system is based upon the disrespect of not only men, but women as well, and children. But you all let the media get you all roused up, which was all a ritual, which is all left-hand magic, to be so angry against this guy, Trump. Okay? But I bet you dumbasses will take those tweets along with those lower gas prices and better economy, right? Which this is why we don't even vote. To hell with voting. We're crying for you. How about Shemal Shai to take this place down? But you still have 2/3 of our people who are still caught up in this madness, and the rest of you numbnut Americans who walk around dwelling without care, who live the most perverse, debased lives and lifestyles. But then you want to walk around as if you're some upstanding individual when it comes to particular things and have opinions. So you all allowed your emotions to get the best of you and cried for this nigga to be put in office. And now look at what's happening. You're getting ready to be brought into World War III. Your economy is destroyed. Your gas prices are high. Your food is fake. Faker than what it was, because it was already fake. Okay? Everything's destroyed. The morality of the people. And meanwhile, you got women marching around for their right to off fetuses. That's the top priority of you stupid ass people's lives. And then they use Trump to get up in there and say what? God made the decision for Roe v. Wade. So you have a hard mindset towards the scriptures now. See, they're using Trump as a point of division and Biden. So all of you people are through and confused. All right. But this all works out in our favor through the Holy Spirit. Okay. This guy's through. This is the worst cabinet ever. And ultimately, this is what Obama was trying to put in place on steroids. Okay. And it's all being done ultimately through the spirit and vibration of the left-hand priest on the left-hand side, the elites who deal directly with Satan and these high-level demons, which these demons are kind of fleeing them. So they're having to use their technology and other magic and rituals to conjure them. And it's happening right in our face.
Hill published the results of a Harvard Harris poll on July 1st, which showed that only 29% of Americans think Biden should run again in 2024. 71% of those who answered said that the 46th president shouldn't try to get another 4 years in office. But the way the country is right now, this number might not be that surprising. Americans' biggest worry on election day is almost always the economy, and things are worse now than they have ever been in their lives. People are finally realizing that we have been lied to the whole time this pandemic has been going on. This seems to be the only good thing. More people are speaking out against the health experiments and realizing that the gas prices have nothing to do with a Putin price hike. So, when it comes to fighting inflation, the Biden White House has nothing to be proud of. Common sense tells us that giving out more stimulus checks won't stop prices from going up. As of now, Joe Biden's most well-known moment happened in a NASCAR race when people yelled at Joe Biden.
So these people are getting ready to lose it, and at some point they're going to storm. It's going to be sedition, people inciting violence. All right, so this is a major prophecy. You're going to see this being brought out in a lot of videos. Now, again, why is all of this happening? Okay, because look at how this place was established. I have this article here, which we just celebrated America's independence, right? Not we, but, you know, this country, okay, the independence of Babylon the Great, okay, and it wasn't really no morale. Okay, because ultimately the mirth is being sucked out of this place. This is an article I have. Harvard holds the remains of 7,000 Native Americans and almost 20 enslaved so-called black people in its museums. All right, Northern and Southern Kingdom. Okay, collection. Leak report claims the university has already set aside $100 million for reparations after benefiting from slavery. And that's how this whole system benefited. All right, off of the blood, all right, of the Israelites. Let's get the book of Numbers, the 35th chapter. Okay. What was it? Numbers 33. Numbers, the 33rd chapter, and I believe the 35th verse. Or is it 35 and 33? Give me 1 second here. Numbers 35 and 33. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood, it defileth the land. All right. And the blood of our people are all in this land. And the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that it shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. Okay, let's get this in the NLT. All right, this will ensure that the land where you live will not be polluted, for murder pollutes the land. And no sacrifice except the execution of the murderer can purify the land for murder. All right, and the Lord is going to do us even a better one. He's going to purify, he's going to destroy this place by fire. Okay, this land is defiled. Okay, it was taken by what? Bloodshed, murder, lies, rape, theft. Okay, and all of these things are explained in the Holy Scriptures. See, and we're at the very end of Babylon the Great. As you go to Daniel, the 7th chapter, okay, it gives you the independence of Babylon the Great, and then what's going to happen to it eventually. All right, this is Daniel, the 7th chapter, okay, and the 7th verse. All right, Daniel 7 and 7. It says, and after this I saw in the night visions, and behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth. All right, the Roman Empire and its military, and to devour and break in pieces. All right, now as you read down, okay, let's keep reading. And it devoured and break in pieces, and it stamped the residue with the feet of it, and it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns. All right, and it was diverse because of the way they brought in their rulers through a senate, through voting, which that's here today. Okay, here in America, because America is the revival of this system, and the 10 horns are ultimately the vassal states, the subordinate states that ultimately make it a beast system. Just as today you have the EU, okay, that's like unto the 10 horns, all right, these particular countries, all right, that give their power to the beast system for the benefit of Rome, or the modern day Rome, which is America, all right, but they're subordinate, meaning they have like their own thing going, but they work for the power and they work for the benefit of America. So you have the beast system is America, the NATO, and the EU. Okay, back in the ancient Roman Empire, they had vassals as well that made it a beast system. Okay, so verse 8 says, and I considered the horns, and there came up among them another little horn. Okay, and this is Babylon the Great, the revival of that fourth beast, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots. All right, that's the French, the Spanish, or the Spanish, the French, and the British. Forget the order, but there were wars known as what? The Revolutionary Wars. And America, you know, so say, uprooted itself from the oppression of the British and became, all right, an independent country, starting with 13 colonies. See, 13 colonies. And Morocco was the first country that acknowledged, all right, the 13 colonies as, you know, its own sovereign government or whatever. Although we know the British still controls this bitch. Okay, here it is. America was based upon, you know, fighting up from under oppression. But anybody else who takes that mindset, they try to make them a terrorist. And although we, all right, with the right doctrine, we're not teaching that we're going to fight against this devil in the sense of trying to use our own power to take him down. All right. But what we're doing is an act of, it's a revolution. We're revolting in spirit against this place. Okay. They were tired of being taxed, you know, the Tea Party and all of that. You can look that history up, but it's in the scriptures that this is that little horn that's going to go into perdition. Okay. All right. The revival of the fourth beast, because remember that deadly wound. Okay. It was a deadly wound to the image, but the deadly wound was healed, starting at the Renaissance, which led all the way up to Babylon the Great, the revival of Rome, before whom there were three of the first horns plucked up by the roots, the French, the Spanish, the British. Okay? And behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of a man, okay, because they're but men, but they boast themselves to be the Most High God, okay, and a mouth speaking great things. Look at all of the great and wicked things that are being boasted in here in America. That's why it's called Babylon the Great. Babylon means what? Confusion. All right, great confusion. Let's look up this word great. He spoke great things. All right, it's NWO. The Georgia Guidestones are them speaking great things. Who in the hell are you to say where you're going to have, you don't own this earth. Rob. All right. Great, figuratively of power. And see, they speak great things because they have power. And then who were they given the power by? The Most High. Isaac gave you devils this blessing. But immediately, okay, what we're reading about is the last heathen rulership. Okay, this is it. As we read in 2nd Esdras 11, the fourth beast, all right, and the revival of it are what? Let's get it. 2nd Esdras 11. Second Esdras 11 and 40. And the fourth came and overcame all the beasts that were past, speaking of Rome, and had power over the world with great fearfulness, and over the whole compass of the earth with much wicked oppression. And so long time he dwelt upon the earth with deceit. See, now they have power over the whole compass of the earth. Rome had power over regions in the earth. See, now they have their blessing of the fatness of the earth, all right, through this beast system. You see? And when you read verse 39, it says, art not thou it that remainest of the four beasts, whom I made to reign in my world, that their end might come through, the end of their times might come through them? And this could be linked, rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom. All right, so the fourth beast, Rome, okay, will be revived and ultimately rebuked and destroyed. Okay, destroyed, man, by fire. That's the future of Babylon the Great, because immediately after the little horn, all right, is brought forth, judgment. Okay, judgment. The Ancient of Days is going to reign. He's going to set up, all right, his son's kingdom on the earth. Okay, he's going to open up the book, okay, and eventually, verse 13, and I saw in the night visions, one, behold, one like unto the Son of Man, okay, he came in the clouds of heaven and came to the Ancient of Days, and they brought him there before him. And there was dominion, given him dominion and glory and a kingdom, that all people, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion. Now, on the left-hand side, they ain't talking about the dominion of Yahushua coming. They got their own thing going, and the Heavenly Father is going to come and destroy it. You're going to be taken down, pal. Okay? And this is why you devils are crying, you hurt, you confused, like this guy. Let's look where that guy at. Here he goes. U.S. veteran breaks down in tears. Listen to him, because this country is going is CTD, is circling the drain, because that's the only thing left. As we read in Daniel, the 7th chapter, once that fourth beast, which he's going to expound on that fourth beast more. Okay, because what would that fourth beast do? Okay, Daniel 7:25, and he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and shall think to change times and laws. They're even trying to change the way human beings come into the earth. All right, and they shall be given unto his hand until a time, and a dividing of times, at 350 years, where we had no idea who we were. But see, the Lord sent the Holy Spirit and it loosed the chains in our mind. But he will wear out the saints. Who wore out the saints? Babylon the Great is responsible, along with all of these heathen. But Babylon the Great in specific is responsible for wearing out the saints, which the word to wear out means to constantly harass. And through that, they've had riches amount all the way up to the heavens. You see? But there's another side to that story. Verse 26, but the judgment shall sit. All right. And as the scriptures say, inquisition, let's get that. Okay. Inquisition is being made of you devils, man. Okay. Judgment is sitting. All right. But first you have to be the inquisition is being made, which means you're being investigated. 2nd Esdras 6, okay, which we know this is a famous chapter for one of the greatest sayings ever. And what's that saying? 2nd Esdras 6 and 9, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Okay? The end of your world, as the scriptures say. This is 2nd Esdras 6 and 19. I start at 18, and it said, behold, the days come that I will begin to draw nigh and to visit them that dwell upon the earth, and will begin to make investigation of them, of what they be that have hurt unjustly with their unrighteousness, and when the affliction of Zion, the Israelites, shall be fulfilled. Because we will be wore out by this devil and his policies and this wicked system. You see? So inquisition is being made of you devils, meaning you're being cross-examined, everything you did is being brought up, your secrets are coming out. A shameful spewing is being brought up on you. Thus saith the Holy Scriptures.
And then nowadays, I am so upset that the things that we did and the things we fought for and the boys that died for it, it's all going down the drain. Our country going to hell in a handbasket.
It's all going down the drain, but the way you got it was wicked. See, these devils act like they're righteous. You're ashamed of what y'all did, but every year since you did it, you celebrated it. You tell us to forget the past, forget about slavery. Every year you throwing these people in our face, celebrating the shit you did. But I'm supposed to forget about it. And this dude is through. He ain't gonna even make it out of America. Just the missiles are gonna come to this Edomite. We want the elite, but it's beautiful to see you all are hurt. Okay, this is beautiful.
We haven't got the country we had when I was raised. Not at all.
We don't have the country we had when I was raised. When you were raised, niggas were getting hung and lynched. Right? Now they want to complain. Sirach 41 and 6, the inheritance of sinners, children shall perish. See, y'all thought y'all was going to pass this down to your children. Nah. Okay, this was your inheritance. Okay, and it's going to perish. And their posterity shall have a perpetual reproach. Now, all right, the regular everyday Edomites are getting reproached for what your founding fathers did. Okay? And y'all took pride in the shit y'all did, man. And the posterity are the ones who issue forth from you. They're having a perpetual reproach. The children will complain of an ungodly father because they shall be reproached for his sake. And they feel the heat. You see, they feel the heat. Now you looking at this devil here. He looks all innocent and harmless. Okay, this guy was ultimately probably one of those little children on the pictures pointing as the bodies of Jake hung. Those little children, some of them are still here, old and through. And boy, oh boy, do they have stories.
Nobody will have the fun I had. Nobody will have the opportunity I had. It's just not the same. That's not what I want. That's not what they died for. This is not it. Darling, I'm so sorry. I'll be all right. Just takes me time to get over it.
And look what popped up. Brother out in Toronto. All right. If not, where and who is he? It's the devil. All right. And Edomite tears mean nothing. A lot of them are fake. A lot of times y'all be crying and acting like this. No tears ever come. Y'all finished, man. Y'all not reproducing. You becoming small among the heathen. Everybody's looking at you with a side eye, even your own kind. You're divided. Okay? Their legacy is over with, man. Okay? Now your elites are getting ready to work all manner of wickedness. Well, even you veterans and you everyday Americans, they're going to look at you as nothing. A lot of you got to go, in their opinion.
Why me sitting here like this? All this going on. Listen, it's just, Emily, it's just not the same. That isn't what we fought for. Oh well, I should be worried about it, I guess. I'm 100 years old, they say.
100 years old. So just imagine what he saw as a child. And this is why this place is being plagued. All right, what does Isaiah 14 say? Isaiah 14:21, prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. No more colonizing, no more ruling, no more having a say so. You devils will be shut up. Okay, and your children will be put, the sword will be put to them in captivity. All right, and the end all be all what's coming to Babylon is this. Okay, Isaiah 13:19, and Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency, shall be as when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. See that? This is what's coming to this inheritance, and this is why this place is being plagued. Okay, the insect swarm in Oregon. Okay, biblical swarms, giant Mormon crickets destroying crops in the U.S. Okay, as we always read, Egypt will be plagued again. Remember in Exodus, the 10th chapter, Exodus 10:4. Okay, what did the Lord say? If you refuse to let my people go, behold, tomorrow I will bring locusts into thy coast, which locusts are a plague unto crops, unto the clothing, fabrics. And when they come in to destroy. And that's what's happening. Okay? Meanwhile, there's an evil eye towards Babylon the Great. Biblical swarms. Giant crickets. All right, and you can look that up. Okay? This place is being plagued. Okay? And meanwhile, Russia is still leading a evil eye towards America. From now on, we will trust neither the Americans nor the EU Lavrov says says a new iron curtain is coming down between Russia and the West. Okay, now I have this video here by this guy Off Grid Desert Informing. All right, this guy's funny. He's straight out of a '80s time machine, here to bring all of this news, and he brings out good information. He's a Christian, but let's listen to what he says about what's going on with Russia, because Russia is becoming a power. All right, a brother did a video. As a matter of fact, let's see if I can bring it up. See if I can bring that video up. This is GMS, the son of Isaac II. Slovakia. Rebirth of the Soviet Union. Check this video out, because that's what's happening. But it's going to be even greater. You see? It's going to be even greater. Let's see here.
They're still trying to drag us into a war combined with Russia. The goal is to get rid of both Russia and Belarus in one fight. We are the only country that supports the Russians in this struggle. Those who reproach us do not know that we have the closest alliance with the Russian Federation, with a state with which we are building a single, powerful, independent state, Lukashenko says. There is a lot of information in this one briefing from Lukashenko. He's basically saying that the ties between Belarus and Russia are so thick that the new Soviet Union is being built upon them. One powerful state. And then we have the other, acknowledgement in other stories that the BRICS is coming together. Brazil.
And this goes to Ezekiel, the 38th chapter, that all of these various different countries are going to join themselves with Russia in these latter days. Now, remember, all right, the USSR, the Soviet Union, was the reason NATO was created. Okay? And the Cold War really never ended, but the Soviet Union kind of disbanded. Okay? So if you look at what's happening, as NATO grows, okay, they're trying to get, adding different countries and, trying to set up strategical points where they can strike Russia, which is what America is doing with the Ukraine. It says, China and Russia seek to bring Iran, Saudi Arabia into the fold, which, the Sauds were at one point an ally to the West. Okay, as the scriptures say, the men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee. Okay. It says Finland and Sweden's green light to join NATO is set to bring about a U.S.-led Western military alliance, largest expansion in decades. So they're expanding for the purpose of war. Who on my side, who on your side? But we know, according to prophecy, a lot of countries are going to side with Russia. However, security and economy-focused blocs led by Beijing and Moscow are looking to take on new members of their own, including Iran and Saudi Arabia, two influential Middle Eastern rivals whose interest in shoring up cooperation on this new front could have significant impact on global geopolitical balance. And you can read up on that, but pretty much they're forming their own beast system. That's what Russia is doing. And that's what Ezekiel, the 38th chapter, goes into. And they will be a guard unto these nations. Okay, now, as you can see this, powerful Putin ally sees Russia on the brink of a new world order, meaning they're going to dominate the world. Basically, the mindset is that the dominance the West once had, it's waning. Okay, it's old. All right, but let's check out this video and listen to the what this guy says, which he puts out some good information, although he's off with the scriptures.
Until August 31st, 2023. Now, folks, this is very significant. This is very significant what has just happened in Russia. Russia said that they're only going to sell their agricultural products to friendly countries. That means that the United States, France, Germany, United Kingdom, and all of these NATO countries that has put sanctions on them will get none of their agricultural products. They're not going to sell to unfriendly countries that put these sanctions on them.
See, and these sanctions are pretty much being done under the influence of Babylon the Great, which really is crippling these economies. So as you saw what this said is now Russia is demanding rubles for grain, meaning they're not accepting, the dollars. Okay, so while America thought putting, sanctions upon Russia and not allowing, not buying their exports and oil and all of that stuff, meant something, it's now starting to affect Babylon. It's starting to affect, all right, these sanctions that were put on Russia by these EU and NATO countries. It's now messing up these economies. So a lot of these EU countries are going to look at America like, look, man, we need to do business with these people. This mindset towards Russia is ruining our economies. Listen.
Unfriendly countries that put these sanctions on them. Europe is freaking out right now. Do you know the euro has crashed? The value of the euro has crashed today, and the dollar has strengthened. Europe is imploding right now because these sanctions that they put on Russia is boomeranging on them, and it's coming back. It's going to destroy their economies, going to destroy their countries. They tried to punish Russia, and now they're punishing their own citizens. Europe is collapsing. Germany has warned of an imminent financial collapse because their factories will have to shut down. They're not going to have enough natural gas and oil to run their factories because they wanted to punish Russia.
See, and this is going to lead to the beast hating the whore. Okay? Because these EU countries are going to be like, man, we get to hell with these sanctions. To hell with doing things that benefit Babylon the Great and their warmongering agenda. Why not make peace? All right. And when you look at what's happening, okay, Putin is saying, look, we ain't started really no war yet. Okay. And they're like, do y'all want to enter into peace negotiations and stop expanding? Or do y'all want to continue going? Babylon the Great is going to have the spirit to keep going. You see, they continuously sending weaponry over there to Ukraine. Okay. Basically, he's saying we haven't started anything yet. It says at the same time, we do not refuse peace negotiations. All right. But those who refuse should know that the longer it drags, the more difficult it will be for them to negotiate with us. Even the sanctions that were put on Russia by America, that ended up backfiring on the people. That backfired on the Americans. And here it is. Biden is blaming Russia. Well, you're the one who put the sanctions, right? Stupid says the West has failed and will not succeed in sowing discord and confusion in Russia. The collective West was behaving exceptionally aggressive towards Russia for decades. They're trying to impose a model of totalitarian liberalism and cancel culture, but this is impossible. You go cancel Putin. You got Americans over here mad at Putin. Okay, the attempts of the West to impose its world order and to rewrite history are doomed to failure. So you have what? Division, war is coming. Okay, because eventually something's going to happen that's going to lead to what? Physical war taking place on the earth. And that's what's prophesied in the Holy Scriptures. Let's keep listening.
They wanted to destroy Russia's economy, and now it's coming back and destroying their economy. Let's read that one more time. I want to emphasize, folks, this is historic. So now, grain, sunflower oil, and various other byproducts are next in line following Mark's decision to ask customers in unfriendly countries, including big customers in Europe, for gas and rubles instead of the usual dollars and euros. In addition to this move, recently the Minister of Agriculture announced that Russia's agricultural products will only go to friendly countries and according to who needs it most. So the world thought, the leaders of NATO, the leaders of the United States, the leaders of our Pentagon, the leaders of France, United Kingdom, and Germany thought that they could destroy Russia. And now it's going to destroy their own countries, folks. They're going to have massive riots in their countries. You wait and see.
Why? Lack of bread, which is in the scriptures. Okay? Things ain't going to be prospering. Dummies. The gas prices are going to be super high. And this was all pretty much spearheaded by the rulers of America and the EU. Okay, NATO. All they, but ultimately it's the spirit the Lord has on them. Okay, and this is all going to lead to these countries saying, look, the true problem is America, and the beast is going to hate the whore. Okay, and put fire to her. All right, Russia as well.
You're going to see an uprising in Europe like you never saw before, because the leaders of these countries are destroying their own country, trying to punish Russia. Where you have citizens now paying over $10 a gallon for gasoline in Europe. We're up to $5 a gallon here, and where it will stop, no one knows. We did get a break today. I want to show you what happened today. We did get a break on gasoline. The price of oil collapsed under $100 today, so let me show you that. Let me get this on the screen for you guys. Oh.
You can look at the rest of that video. I mean, it's a good video, but boom, all right, the things are imploding. Okay, this is Jeremiah, the 50th chapter and the 14th verse. Put yourselves in array against Babylon round about, ye that bend the bow. All of these different nations, shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she have sinned against the Lord. And see, Babylon is in a trap. Okay, as it says in Obadiah. Okay, these prophecies are hitting. They're coming to pass. Okay, they're coming to pass in a major way. I don't have much time. I got to roll out. So let me read a few more scriptures, and get up out of here. But the point was made. I mean, we always going into Russia, but as you can see, the plans of the West and the beast system is failing, and eventually, Obadiah verse 7, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee. All right, because Germany is eventually going to be like, hell nah. Okay. Turkey, everybody's gonna pretty much be like, man, Russia's this is the new way to go. The West is through. The West is a pest. An evil eye is being put towards the West, and even their own allies that are part of this confederacy, all right, are gonna prevail against you. And they that eat thy bread, they who were tied to the dollar, all right, they're gonna lay a wound under thee, and they're seeking ways to get out of trading in dollars and buying things in dollars. And see, Russia is making that possible. China as well, and it's not gonna be easy. And it's gonna take time. Things are getting ready to happen that are gonna lead to these things, because it's not like they can just say, the hell with the dollar But the things are happening to where the dollar is going to crash, and there's none understanding. Esau is ultimately a fool is being made of this guy. Okay, so see, I think I had a few other things. Biden warns Democratic governors as GOP Congress could try to ban abortion nationwide. Yeah, you women, it's going to be illegal to have one in that day. And pretty much if you're trying to sneak and have one or go cross state lines, you'll be jailed. All right, but that was just the article I had. I don't want to go all into that. But yeah, Ezekiel 38 is in full force. Let's go here to Blacklisted News and read a few of these titles, and we'll get up out of here. Give me 1 second here as it loads. So we're living in beautiful times, man. All right, the prophecy is hitting. You see, this devil is falling. The elect are being raised up. More understanding is coming out. You could tell the Lord is opening up the understanding. Like the deeper, the understanding of things. Like he's pouring out his spirit upon his house. Okay, which is a beautiful thing, man. Because the closer we get to once the elect are all sealed, all right, full-fledged hell is gonna break out on the earth. Okay, it's not loading. 1 second here. There we go. Millions of barrels from the U.S. oil reserves sent abroad, including China. Yeah, people are like Biden. Come on, man. Japan ex-PM Abe assassinated while making election campaign speech. The Disinfo Governance Board is back. White House task force to address online harassment and abuse. We know where that's going. Boris Johnson steps down after wave of scandals, which is going to be nothing but more, man. You Edomites are through, man. Okay, Space Force launches new intelligent unit as Congress voices concern over growth. Yeah. The government cannot require that citizens prove the need for self-protection in order to carry a gun outside their home. Oh, boy. And they go, boy, when they take them guns, you go see uproars, baby. Uvalde mayor blows the whistle, says officials engaged in cover-up of police responding to shooting. Corruption, how the media used Russiagate conspiracy theories to create a news cartel. Explosion partially destroys Georgia Guidestones. Rogue cops Supreme Court is turning America into a constitution-free zone. Censored papers that refute the Big Bang hypothesis. Oh, man. Supreme Court effectively grants absolute immunity to federal cops. Oh, yeah. It's getting ready to go down. Sweden and Finland move one step closer to joining NATO. War's coming. Let's see here. Ukraine says 750 billion needed to rebuild. Wants to use seized Russian assets. Let's see here. 4th of July parade. Turns into chaos. Of course, New York governor to require 3 years of social media history to obtain concealed carry permit. You see, they moving closer to that social credit thing. So they want to look at your social media history, all right, to determine whether or not you'll be able to have carry, a gun. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Hopefully, I'll edify it on to the next. Shalom.